If you watched part 1 and part 2 of our Great Inventors videos, welcome back and enjoy part 3. If you have not watched them yet, you can do so after this video. Black inventors whose inventions changed our lives, part 3. First, we have George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver, a botanist, was dubbed a Black Leonardo by Time magazine. Similar to Leonardo da Vinci, a celebrated Renaissance figure known for his mastery in various fields like art, science, and engineering, Carver also demonstrated exceptional ability across a broad spectrum. Carver was born in slavery in Missouri around 1864. He showed an early interest in plants and was known as the plant doctor for his ability to nurture struggling plants back to health. Despite racial barriers, Carver pursued education, attending various schools before being accepted into Simpson College in Iowa, and later transferring to Iowa State Agricultural College, now Iowa State University. He became the first black student at Iowa State and earned a Bachelor of Science degree in 1894 and a Master of Science degree in Bacterial Botany and Agriculture in 1896. In 1896, Booker T. Washington invited Carver to lead the agriculture department at the Tuskegee Institute. Carver dedicated his life to improving the lives of black farmers in the South. He emphasized crop rotation and the use of soil-restoring crops like peanuts, sweet potatoes, and soybeans, which helped replenish nutrients depleted by cotton production. To create markets for these alternative crops, Carver invented numerous products from them. He developed over 300 uses for peanuts, 108 for sweet potatoes, and 75 for pecans. These inventions included food products, peanut butter paste, flour, milk, coffee, cosmetics, face powder, shampoo, industrial products, dyes, plastics, gasoline, and more. While not the inventor of peanut butter, Carver's work significantly popularized it and made it more accessible. He created numerous recipes for peanut-based dishes, including soups, breads, salads, candies, and even mock meats like peanut sausage and peanut chicken. Sweet potatoes were used to produce vinegar, adding to the range of edible products. Carver created writing ink from sweet potatoes. He created 14 different wood fillers from sweet potatoes. Carver also pioneered the Jessup wagon, a mobile classroom that brought agricultural education directly to farmers. Carver's innovations significantly diversified Southern agriculture and contributed to economic empowerment, especially for black communities. His methods helped to restore the South after the Civil War. Carver's work earned him national and international recognition, including the Spingarn Medal and membership in the British Royal Society of Arts. He advised prominent figures like President Theodore Roosevelt and Mahatma Gandhi. Carver died in 1943 and is buried on the Tuskegee University campus. His birthplace was designated the George Washington Carver National Monument, the first national monument honoring a black American. Carver's legacy continues to inspire, and his contributions to science and agriculture are still recognized today, according to the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Marie Van Britten Brown. Brown was born in Queens, New York on October 22, 1922, and resided there until her death on February 2, 1999 at age 76. In 1966, Brown, along with the assistance of her husband, invented a security system which consisted of 4 peepholes, a sliding camera, television monitors, and two-way microphones. These items created a closed-circuit television system for surveillance, also known as CCTV. With multiple peepholes, the sliding camera was able to capture images of people who were of different heights. The two-way microphones allowed Brown to communicate with the person outside. She also had a remote that would allow her to unlock the door at a safer distance. Lastly, she could press an emergency button that would send an alarm to police or security. The patent for the invention was filed in 1966, and it later influenced modern home security systems that are still used today. Brown's invention was inspired by the security risk that her home faced in the neighborhood where she lived. Marie Brown worked as a nurse, and her husband, Albert Brown, worked as an electronics technician. Their work hours were not the standard 9 to 5, and the crime rate in their Queens, New York City neighborhood was very high. Even when the police were contacted in the event of an emergency, the response time tended to be slow. As a result, Brown looked for ways to increase her level of personal security. She needed to create a system that would allow her to know who was at home and contact relevant authorities as quickly as possible. John Albert Burr. Albert Burr was a black inventor who held more than 30 U.S. patents for lawn care and agricultural inventions, according to the African American Registry, including devices for mulching clippings, sifting, and dispersing them. He was originally from Maryland but was living in Agawam, Massachusetts when he filed his patent for the rotary mower in 1898. His patent for the rotary blade lawnmower was officially granted in 1899. He went to Harvard Business School. After he finished Harvard Business School, he moved to Chicago in the 1870s to continue to be a repairman and a capable steelworker. Today's mulching power mowers may be part of his legacy, returning nutrients to the turf rather than bagging them for compost or disposal. In this way, his inventions helped save labor and were also good for the environment. Burr sadly died in 1926. Samuel Scottron. Samuel Scottron was an inventor of the late 1800s, best known for his invention of the curtain rod. It is unclear if Scottron was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the years 1841 or 1843. What is clear is that the Scottron family moved to New York in 1849. Scottron graduated from grammar school at the age of 14. He went to work for his father in 1863, during the Civil War, selling goods to the 3rd Infantry Regiment of the U.S. Colored Soldiers. Scottron moved to Florida in 1864, breaking from the family business and started a grocery store chain, with stores in Gainesville, Jacksonville, Lakeville, Palatka, and Tallahassee. He soon sold off his profits and relocated to Springfield, Massachusetts, and worked as a barber. After taking note of the difficulty his customers had trying to see the back of their heads, Scottron created dual adjustable mirrors on a standing pole. He obtained a patent for his first invention, the Scottron mirror, in March 1868. Moving back to New York City, Scottron became involved in race-related issues and local politics. He represented his community in the 1865 National Colored Convention held in Syracuse, New York. In 1872, Scottron formed the Cuban Anti-Slavery Society.
André Pinto Rebouças. Rebouças was a Brazilian engineer and abolitionist, best known for creating one of the world's first self-propelled torpedoes during the Paraguayan War, a war that was fought between Paraguay and the Triple Alliance of Argentina, the Empire of Brazil, and Uruguay. Rebouças was born on January 13, 1838 in Cachoeira, Brazil, the son of Antonio Pereira Rebouças, a prominent lawyer and politician, and an unidentified black woman. André received a fine education. He completed his general studies at the prestigious military school in Rio de Janeiro in 1857, before moving on to higher education at the Escola de Aplicação da Praia Vermelha, Military School of Praia Vermelha. There, he earned a degree in physical sciences and mathematics, graduating in 1859 and being named military engineer in 1860. In 1861, Rebouças traveled with his brother Antonio to Europe to study civil engineering, where they took an interest in the construction of ports and railroads. They returned to Brazil after being denied scholarships on the basis of their race. Upon returning, the Brazilian government put Rebouças to work installing and improving the empire's coastal properties. Rebouças addressed the problem of water supply in the then capital of Brazil, bringing water from outside the city limits. This improvement also involved introducing modern sanitation to the city. Rebouças designed a new and more robust dock for Rio de Janeiro, known as the Dom Pedro II dock, and led the development of regulations for Brazilian port services. Rebouças was made director of the Rio de Janeiro Customs Dock Company. He also oversaw improvements in other ports such as those in Paraíba, Maranhão, Recife, and Salvador. When war broke out in 1864, Rebouças was sent to serve as an engineer in the Paraguayan War. In the 1880s, now a lecturer at the Polytechnic School of Rio de Janeiro, Rebouças emerged as one of Brazil's most influential abolitionists. Though he had owned enslaved people in his youth, by this time Rebouças opposed it on both moral and economic grounds. He created several abolitionist organizations, communicated with leading abolitionist Joaquim Nabuco, and argued not only for emancipation, but for the redistribution of land to former enslaved people. Slavery would be abolished in Brazil in 1888. Rebouças, a close friend of Brazilian Emperor Pedro II, followed the imperial family into exile following a coup in 1889. For several years, he worked as a correspondent for London newspaper The Times while living in Lisbon, Portugal. Plagued by financial difficulties and health problems, Rebouças died on May 9, 1898 when he jumped from a cliff in Funchal, Portugal. If you enjoy this video, like, share, and subscribe for more unpopular Black history.